Hey guys, so next up is chapter 1, lesson 2. We're going to talk about powers and exponents. First is going to be super easy. We're going to take a problem and we're just going to simplify it. We're not actually going to solve it. And then the next step is we are going to solve it. You are going to want to have your calculator. I'm going to try to do this WeVideo thing where I have part on my board and then I'm going to screen record using an online calculator because I don't have an Inspire at home and my phone is probably not, my phone calculator is probably not going to cut it today. So make sure that you have your calculator and it's charged up. Okay, so first step is simplifying the expression. That's all we want to do. We're not going to actually solve it, okay? So you see that I have 3 times 3 times m. So we know that the exponent, you should know this by the time you're in 8th grade math, I have how many 3's right here? I have 2 3's, so my power is going to be squared or to the second. So 3 to the second power times m. That's it. Okay, that's really super simple. Okay, next we're combining our likes right here. We're combining the 3's, they're alike. Next we're going to come down here and we're also going to combine all of our likes. We have 1, 2, we have 1, 2, 3 D's, and we have 2 5's. Okay, so I'm going to write down here because I'm running out of room. So always want to start with your smallest number first, which is 2 right here. So I'm just going to do 2 times nothing. It's no power. I mean, you could put the first power, but that would be weird. Next is not the D. We're going to go numerically first, then the numbers. And I see, and I'm going to mark out as I go. I've already used the 2. So now I have 1, 2 5's. So we know, just like this example up here, I have 2 5's. So I'm going to square it, or to the second power, 5 to the second power. And then I have 1, 2, 3 D's. So I'm going to cube that, or to the third power. So this simplified expression is 2 times 5 squared times D cubed. Or you could say 2 times 5 to the second power times D to the third power. And we don't have to solve for D right now, okay? Also, you're going to want to have your calculator, especially for the next step. Okay, so next up, we're going to simplify this expression. We have 1/5 to the third power. If we write it out, this little 3 right here, this little 3 has little man syndrome. You ever meet somebody who's a little tiny thing and they're a firecracker and they're bossy and they're always in your face trying to tell you what to do? Yeah, me too. I call that little man syndrome. You may even be thinking about me, little woman syndrome, whatever you want to call it. But what this little number has a lot of power. This little number tells this number, you're going to write yourself down this many times. Okay, so I'm going to write this down this many times, which is 3 times. Okay, 1/5 times 1/5 times 1/5. Okay, and we know that 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, 5 times 5 is 25. And 25 5 times, or 25 quarter, or 5 quarters, I guess. 25 times 5, that'd be 5 quarters, is $1.25. So 125. So when I simplify this expression, I get 125. If you do it on a calculator, I'm going to try to do this, guys, on my phone because it's going to be too difficult. So if I did 1 divided by 5 times 1 divided by 5 times 1 divided by 5, I'm going to get 8 thousandths, okay? And just like the last video, yesterday, I'm sorry, if I have 8 over 1,000, I know I can divide both by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1, and 1,000 divided 8 times is 125, which is the same thing right here. But if you put this in your calculator, I'm pretty sure, because back in the day they did it for me, they'll put your answer in fraction form, okay? And that's what they were wanting in this little problem, okay? So let me go to the next example. Okay. If you have a question, pause video, raise your hand. Okay, so next we have -2 cubed plus 5 cubed. So basically, we're going to do -2 times -2 times -2 plus 5 times 5. Okay, so I know this easy. This is 25, correct? And you should know that a negative, okay, so let me show y'all this. If we do the tic-tac-toe board, by the way, this only works for multiplying and dividing negative numbers. But if we put our positives down the diagonal, either one, and fill in the rest with negatives, you will see that a negative times a negative, if I look over here, negative times a negative is going to be a positive, okay? And so if we did -2 times -2, a negative, or you can go down here on this little corner, a negative times a negative is a positive. So 2 times 2 is 4. So -2 times -2 is going to be +4. So now we have 4 times -2. So we have a positive times a negative. A positive times a negative is a negative answer, okay? You can write the little tic-tac-toe board down if you want in your notebook. All right, so +4 times -2 is -8. And -8 plus 25, if you put that in your calculator, let's see. We got -8 we did it again. -8 plus 25. -8 plus 25. 17, +17, okay? All right. One more example. Oh, I'm lying. Yes, no, one more example. Calculator will save your life on this, peeps. It will save your life. Okay. Aren't you glad you're in 8th grade? You don't have to figure this out by hand. All right, so next is -2 to the 5th power minus -2 to the 4th power. Okay. Now, I cannot combine the 4 and the 5. I can't do that because I'm subtracting in the middle, okay? So -2 to the 5th power is basically writing down -2 5 times. But I have my calculator. So if I do -2, and see, it did not take the negative. Okay, -2, and I don't know if I can, let's see. How do you get it where it's, oh, I guess if I do it like this, turn it this way. Okay, wait. Okay, so let's do -2, turn it sideways. Hope y'all can see that. And I'm going to pick this one right here, x to the y power, so I can pick my power. To the 5th power is -32. So I'm just going to write that down right here, -32 minus. Okay, so next up is 2 negative, and then I'm going to do x to the y power again, and I'm going to make it 4. Sorry, it's a little blurry on here. I don't know why. And that's -16, okay? No, it's +16, sorry. Let me make sure. Let me do this and make sure. Okay, -2 to the 4th power is 16, +16. Okay, so if you wanted to follow the rules where when you're subtracting, if you've got a negative, it just is easier if you follow the rules. So I like to do the rule where it's change the subtraction to addition, change the sign of the next number. So now I have two negatives. So I know that that is going to be super easy, and it's going to be negative 48, right? Okay. So if you have a question on this, raise your hand. I haven't used the calculator in a long time, but I promise you it's probably like a bicycle. Once you learn how to ride a bike, you always will remember how to ride a bike. Okay, so just raise your hand if you have a question.